Welcome back to another edition of Beyond the Sidelines. And with us today we have guest athlete Mike Graham from Western New England. He was a first-team BSN preseason All-American, and I'm not even going to get into what position he plays because he does it all. With us we have, as always, BSN correspondent Kerry Gibbs to lead off the interview. Kerry, what do you got for us?
Well, you're right about that, Jimmy. He's Mr. Everything. Mike Graham is a senior out of Western New England. That's a D3 division in the FC conference. Last year, Mike, he returned 4 kickoffs for touchdowns on just 15 attempts. So talk about a good ratio right there. He ran for nearly 250 yards. He received a touchdown. Mr. Everything. He drove the bus. He even said he cooked some food for the team. So I don't know. You tell me what he doesn't do. Mike, you were first in the nation in kick return average last year, and you also had 4 touchdowns to boot, as I mentioned. What do you think allowed you to be so productive on special teams?
To be honest, before you even kick the ball, I'll think about securing the ball, see the ball catch, run down field. And where kickoff return is set up, I basically do the coach tell me, follow my blockers. They will lead you to the promised land. See the hole, trust your speed, take it, and let's go. That's what basically I did most of my returns. I just saw the hole, try to beat the guy to the hole, and then it was off to the races.
Yeah. Well, man, it sounds like it. That's pretty good advice. I mean, you follow your blockers pretty well, it seems like.
Always works.
Yeah. And Mitch, on that same token, kickoff return is such a team effort. Who are some of the guys on your kick return team that allowed you to be so productive?
Well, all 10 of the guys, just basically sum it up, because the other returner, he basically makes the set call for me. So he gets it or I get it. And then he says break. If we're set up to go, say it's a right call, and it's kicked to the left, and I catch on the left side, he'll yell break, so the other 9 guys in front will break to the opposite side instead and then set up over there. So if he doesn't make the call, then the whole thing's all screwed up. And I could go one way, while my blockers are the other way. So that isn't synchronized, then the whole thing falls apart. And then the other 9 guys in front basically makes the block. And then I just try to beat everybody to the spot most of the time, and then go off to the races. And if I'm the non-returner, I'll do the opposite for my guy next to me, and then I don't have a problem blocking anybody either. So it works out both ways, but it was kind of hard this year because a lot of teams they didn't want to kick it to me. I just kept on bringing in, either I get close or I just great field position, which worked out perfect for us anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it seems to work out quite often. Jimmy, do you want to ask him something? Go ahead, Jimmy.
Yeah, Mike, obviously special teams is factored into a huge success, not only for your career but also for the team. What kind of emphasis have the coaches put on that, and do you see a difference when you're playing teams? I mean, obviously you can tell, having played at Virginia Tech, we could tell when we were more prepared on special teams. Do you see that, and just talk a little bit about the emphasis that the coaches put on that?
Coach Emery, our head coach, most of our practice emphasizes special teams. That's what we do: punt return, kickoff, kick return.
My kind of coach.
We don't do it right. We have to keep doing it over and over again, reps. That's basically emphasis. When camp starts this year, most of the camps will be special teams. That's what he emphasized on there. Special teams wins games. That's what he thinks. That's what he believes. And then having me back there and whoever else is next to me, and everybody contributing, punt team, punt return, everything like that, just works. We spend so much time on special teams, I get tired of it sometimes running, to be honest.
Well, Kerry, I'll tell you what, one of the emphasis, speaking back on the Beamer Ball days, something that obviously speaks for itself is the rule that Beamer always had was you put your best players on special teams because that was a momentum changer. Obviously, that's the case here. There's also rumors here, Mike, that you're going to be, as Kerry said, you're playing a lot of different positions. I hear you make a mean omelet, but, talk about playing on both sides of the ball this year. Not many athletes do it. Not many athletes can do it. Just talk a little bit about that, because I'm hearing rumors that you might be playing on all 3 sides of the ball now.
Coach approached me midway through the season, midway almost to the end, because when we lost a corner to a concussion, and he can't play anymore. Then he broke his wrist. And then so we were a little thin on corner, and then I told the coach, since I do mostly kick return, that's my forte is, and I go into offense when they need me for a special type play, or just use my speed to try to break the outside or run up the middle or something. And then he said, "I need help at corner." So I'm like, I don't have a problem playing corner. I used to play corner and safety in high school, And I used to play D-end of all places, and I had no problem tackling people, running at people. So I was like, I'll try a corner this year, and then he asked me at the end of the year meeting if you want to still do your thing on offense. I'm like, it's perfectly fine with me. And that's how it happened. So I'll be basically going both ways, or three ways, and punt returning. And I'm actually on the punt team too, as one of the blockers, running back blocker. So I mean, I'm all over the place. I'll be all over the place this year. What do you say?
I just want to know how much, here's a guy that's going to need to get sponsored by Gatorade, because after the game, I can't believe he walks. He's going to be like Jerome Bettis, the bus, waking up on Sunday mornings with nothing but ice bags all over him. But I got to tell you, I don't think I could name another athlete that would be more prepared to play any position in the NFL, the CFL, or the AFL going into 2013, and so on and so forth. I mean, this is something that, you just look at the preparedness. I mean, Mike, that's awesome. I mean, just to hear you talk about, playing all those different positions. I mean, I was a punter, I was a kicker. I mean, I hated sitting on the sidelines, but then again, I was 5'10". I couldn't, I wasn't going to go up and take on these linemen or do anything else. I was limited. But to hear that, I mean, I can't believe that, you come off the field very much.
Yeah, he trusts me because I've been with him for almost 4 years now. I've known him, great guy, I love him as a father and as a coach. I mean, the senior class that's coming this year, we're going to lead the school as like the most winningest class in the school history, because before we came, the school wasn't doing so hot. And now we came in, then he just has more trust in us and then sees how we developed, and the whole team comes together. Like I said when I had the phone interview, like we're a bond, we're brothers. Like, we know our ups and downs, we get by it, and the coach makes it better for us by just putting the best players on the field. Doesn't matter what class they're in, the best player plays. That's how he always been, and it's perfectly fine with me.
It's a great story.
That's phenomenal. Like Jimmy said, I can't think back to many athletes that played defensive end and then on the punt team and wherever else you play. That's just phenomenal.
No, I played defensive end in high school.
Yeah, still though. I mean, to go from defensive end to I don't even want to get into it.
I actually played fullback my senior year of high school.
See, now you're just confusing me. So we're going.
And I was a kickoff guy, and I was a punter.
And you played the trumpet in the band, right?
No, I actually played the viola in the orchestra.
Oh my gosh!
I played classical music.
Well, you know what? Now, for every offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, special teams coordinator out there, they're sitting there going, how do we block this guy? How do we prepare for this guy?
Not to mention conductor in an orchestra. How do we prepare for this guy playing viola?
Exactly. Well-rounded, needless to say.
Yeah. And, let's talk about your game against Endicott last year. You returned 2 kickoffs for a touchdown, and that proved to be huge in that game. Talk about how it felt to make such a big difference in a big game like that.
Just to start off, I don't like Endicott. I'm just putting it out there. That's a rival.
Tell us how you really feel.
That's how I really feel. I don't like Endicott. I remember before the game started, we were just walking around because the locker room was right next to where when we came to the stadium, so we just walked around. I'm not even talking anything. I'm the type of person that go in the game, I don't talk. My actions do talking for me. But if you come at me, then I'm going to say something to you. And then I remember one particular, I think it was the second half, right before halftime, the first one, the receiver, Murphy, said something to me like, how does it feel not to play? And I'm like, I looked at him like, you see the scoreboard, bro? I was like, you see the scoreboard? Like, we were up at that time. I kept on walking inside, put some ice on my foot because the first kick return I returned, I actually lost my shoe in the snow. I ran it back barefoot, and my feet were frozen by the end of the game. I went in the training room, put my foot in some hot water. I turned the hot water cold. That's how cold my feet was after that. And then we came back out again. Then the second one, I don't know how that happened, to be honest with you, because Dylan Rush, the All-American kicker for Endicott, got hurt on the extra point. So they brought the backup in, and they told the backup, what did he do? Do not kick it to Graham. And he shanked it. So luckily, shanked it to me, and then I caught it, and it was off the races. But beginning of the game, Brendan Thompson, the other kick returner, who actually returned to against MIT's freshman year, and I blocked both of the last guys for him in that freshman year. The way they were kicking it opposite the side to where I was at. The way we watched their film to see which way he kicked it to, and that's the way I was supposed to go. But when the game started, they did the total opposite and kicked it away from me. So I figured it out like halfway through the game. Like, yeah, this is what we're doing. So I told me and Brendan, let's switch it up, and it worked out perfectly. And then they were pissed after that game. But actually, I respected, the only person I actually respected in the Endicott was the outside backer, number 27. He actually came to me after the game and told me, if it wasn't for you, your team wouldn't have won. You put your team on your back. And then he was real humble about it, and I respected that. I respected him for that, but not the rest of the players in the team, because they were just pissed off. They were mad because we ran on our field celebrating after we beat them. But if we were at their place, or if they won, they would do the same exact thing to us too. So I mean, can't be mad at them. Hey, we won.
It's I know a game I'm going to be focused on this year.
Yeah. Well, another one, just chalk it up. Game of the week. We'll have a whole list by the time these videos are done.
We don't like each other.
Well, I'll tell you what, Michael. We had a really good player for us last year coming to the BSN Showcase, Taylor Allen. He was a tight end for Endicott. He's a decent friend of mine. I've got to know him, so I'll definitely have to show him this video and let him know.
I like Taylor though. He's a hard-working player. I watched him many times when he caught the ball. He runs very well. He blocks very well. I have no problem with Taylor.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad to hear that.
I just don't like Endicott in general. It's school.
Yeah. Well. We'll move on. We'll move on from that. When you return kicks, what are some things you look for? Like, what are some things you look for in terms of paths you can take, holes that you might think open up? What goes through your mind before when the ball's coming to you?
That's when the ball's kicked up. I just look at. I don't even look at where the people are coming at. I just look for the ball first, and then. The way I do, I run up the middle, and then it's either left or right, and I break. And then, I don't know how, but every time, the wall just seems to, like, spread open like this. And there's, like, a little tiny crease. I just see it. I just take it. I mean, I don't hesitate. I don't second think it. That one little second you hesitate to think about it, the wall could just close automatically. So I just take it and just go.
Yeah, I mean, as much as you guys practice special teams, I'm sure it's just become second nature to you guys to, where the holes are going to be. So you never hear that too often. Teams that focus on special teams, except for I'm sure Jimmy can attest to it, but it really seems to be working out for your team, and it's a really interesting story. I'd really like to look more into that.
Yeah. Coach Emery just special teams. Yeah. That's what he emphasized on. He says special. That's besides defense, he's a defense guru. The plays he calls on defense, I don't even understand him sometimes because his terminology.
You're gonna have to.
I'm getting used to it. His terminology is so out there, but his special teams, like he just loves special teams.
I bet you the fans get into when they see specific things happening on the field. I bet you those fans are ready for the next kickoff or the next punt return, or it's got to make it fun for the fans when they know what to expect, or what they're hoping to expect.
It's not really fun though when they try to kick it away from you, which is also good for us because we get better field position. Because some of the times they kick it short, like at the 35, that's great catch it. We're all up to the 40 already, so great field position. So it works out both ends.
Well, I can speak as a kicker when your coach is telling you not to just unleash. And you got to start kicking away from people, and you got to get out of your frame of mind as a kicker. That's the worst because now you're changing your game, and that was something that luckily we didn't have to do very often. But when we had to do that, that's very frustrating for kickers. So, obviously for all those kickers out there paying attention, this is one guy to avoid. Yeah. Start practicing now.
Now, you talk about kicking away from you. When teams do kick away from you, how does this, positively affect your team?
Oh, it's perfect because when they're not worried about me, I'll be the guy in front trying to lead up the way to block somebody, get the great block for the other returner. And then since they're so timid to focus, not kicking the ball to me, I just hope that one time the kicker just overthinks it so badly and just shanks one out of bounds or something. So it works like that. You basically get in your head before the game even starts, which is perfect.
Yeah,
that's how I look at it. And then it works out either way because the other returner, he's just as great as me. So it works out both ways. But we basically have a communication. Like before every kickoff, we look at each other and we say a couple of words to each other, like I got you. You know what I mean? Like we just have that chemistry together. We know where each other's gonna go, and then we just go off to the races.
That's exactly how me and Jimmy are with this show. We just have a chemistry.
Exactly.
Before each show, we're like, it's on. Let's go. So.
I just want to know if you're talking to your teammate, saying, "See you in the end zone." That would be pretty funny. We're gonna have to mic up Mike during the games. I'd love to hear some of that stuff. So
Mike, a few more questions from me. What are some goals for you this upcoming season, being that your last season at Western New England?
My coach actually made a highlight tape for me for all the kickoff returns I had in my career thus far. I need 4 more this year to tie I think either tie or break the NCAA record for all divisions, most kickoff returns in a career. And then adding, since I'm doing punt return also too, which if I get 2 or 3 punt returns or 2 or 3 kick returns, I'll be the all-time leader in all career touchdowns in D1, D2, and D3 history. That's a goal I'm looking forward to. But most important goal is going undefeated, winning conference, winning division, and try to make it farther in NCAA playoffs this year. Because we got smacked by Salisbury in the first round last year, which I'm still not over yet. But it was a great experience. The first time small school coming to a big fish, and it was great.
Yeah. And it makes you hungry. It makes you very hungry. Yeah. And I have no doubt you guys can get back there next year. Now,
basically the whole.
No, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
Basically, the whole defense is coming back, which is great. Wow. And our defense was in the top 20 in NCAA last year, which is awesome. And then we lost a quarterback, all-conference MVP quarterback. He actually is playing in Prague right now in the pro league. But the backup was our punter, who's just as great. So we're basically fine. We're going to be great again this year. Hungry for more. And we brought in about 60-something freshmen who are just ready to come in, compete against us. So it's going to be a great camp, great fall season, and then we can't wait to see what happens.
Yeah, Kerry, why do I have a feeling that right before 2 days hits, we're going to see new headlines across Western New England's website? Quarterback gone. Mike Graham fills in.
Mike Graham hands ball to himself. But talk about your time at Western New England, and talk about the great experiences you had, and tell us why you chose that school.
Freshman year is just like freshman year for everybody. You come in, you try to get acclimated to the school, and then you kind of slip because just the party life, the football, and then grades kind of dwindle a little bit. But after you mature after a while, then everything's on the right track. As it's going now for me, I'm having fun. It's great, but actually, I wasn't even looking at Western New England University in the beginning. I was actually trying to go somewhere in-state, like either Southern or WestCon or Eastern, not Eastern's not football, sorry, or Central, I mean. And all those schools I was on the waiting list for, so I was like, and I it was my fault though, I applied late. I applied like January or something like that, so it was my fault. And then Coach Emery came to my school one day, and my coach come see me, and I was at school, but my coach, I don't want to say this, but me and my coach didn't really see eye to eye in high school. I mean, that type of thing, like we didn't really get along that great. I mean, but it was his own choice, my own choice. But I basically helped myself get into to college. I contacted Coach E. He contacted me. We talked frequently, worked stuff out. Came up to a visit. Loved the campus. Real small. Like somewhere I could like build on because it's so small. I walk around. I can know everybody around campus. Friendly environment. And then ever since I've been here, it's just been great. 3.5 years has been great. Came to know a lot of friends, know a lot of teammates, met a lot of people, and then a lot of professors in the same profession that I'm trying to get into, which helps because the connections are going to be even better when I graduate. If football doesn't work out for me, I always fall back on my criminal justice or sociology. So I'm always looking forward ahead to see what life holds for me. But what was your other question?
You answered them all.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, no, Western New England worked out for you. I mean, it's funny. We've heard it all, from people that applied 2 years in advance to, last minute things, and it just seemed to work out. And I can tell you, Mike, it's a phenomenal story, and I can tell you we're excited about following you this year. I mean, this is going to be an exciting season. I'm excited for you about the whole team coming back. A lot of seniors coming back on defense, and obviously I can't even talk defense, offense, cooking, whatever. I'm excited to watch you play and, watching you update that BSN profile because, as I stated in the beginning of the show, it's all about the athletes, about you, and this is a great story. I mean, Kerry, at the end of the day here, this is a phenomenal young man that I think's got a bright career, and, hopefully we're not too overbearing, but it's going to be fun to watch you this year.
Yeah, no doubt about that. I mean, he has a great career as a cook, a bus driver, a pilot, a football player. I mean, you can probably do anything. But Mike.
There's one other thing too.
Okay, what?
No, sorry for cutting me off. Go ahead.
Oh, good. We're just having fun here.
There's one. Not a lot of people know, but before every game, I'm also the team poet. I write poetry.
There you go.
And I've actually been published online like a couple of years ago on poetry.com, and I write poetry for every day before the game, and then try to inspire the team. And
that's cool.
It worked up until the Salisbury game. Yeah.
You need a little more help than poetry in that game, I think. But hey, trust me, you guys are going to go far in this coming season. I have no doubt about that. But Mike, thanks for accepting this opportunity. You were a great guest, and Jimmy, we couldn't ask for a better guest.
No, absolutely not. I mean, Mike, thanks again for coming on board. Best of luck this season, and do your thing. Whatever it is that you're going to do, just go do it all.
Oh, thank you guys for the opportunity, by the way.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
Thanks a lot, Mike.